What's up, everybody? Thanks for stopping by Attollo Studios. Welcome to part 2 of Making a Beat in FL Studio for Beginners. Last time around, we made our bass and our kick drum to make the backbone of our beat. Today, we're going to be focusing on the instruments and the melody. The first thing you're going to want to do is load up your project. Go ahead and play it, make sure everything sounds good. We're going to take a second to do that here. Yep, sounds just like it did when we left off. Alright, so choosing what instruments you're going to use in your beat is kind of like trying to pick which flavor ice cream you want on any given day. It's going to be different every single time. We're going to start with something simple, a piano. We're going to add a plugin, right click, click Insert, and we're just going to use FL Keys. It's another free plugin that comes with FL Studio, and it works very well for this particular scenario. Before we start clicking around, we want to make sure we create a new pattern, name it piano, and then we'll right click on FL Keys and open the piano roll. Now, one quick and easy way to make sure you're picking the right notes for any other instruments in your song is to use notes from an instrument that already exists. So we're going to go find our bass, and we're going to right click on GMS. We're going to copy. On the top here, click your down arrow, go back to your piano pattern, right click on FL Keys, and paste. Now we have the right notes in the right places in our piano part. But if we were to play it back, it would be incredibly boring. Let's paste our piano into our playlist and click play. So obviously we want our piano to do something different than the bass, but we use the bass to get the right notes. What we were going to do here is build a chord off of the notes that are here. And to do that, you're going to take the first note, and then you're going to click somewhere above or below it on a second note. And if you don't know anything about music theory, again, just play it back and listen. If it sounds good, it's an okay note. That doesn't sound bad, but let's try some others. If you ever want to move two notes at the same time, push Control, click and drag to highlight, and then you can move them together. I happen to like that note a little bit better, so we're going to use this D and A as our first chord. And now we're going to need not an A again, but probably a G for the second part. Just gonna guess down here on the D. Let's try a C instead. They both sound okay. Alright, now we have our chords, but we want the piano to do something different rather than to copy the bass. So let's move these. We're going to delete the extra notes. Maybe we do the offbeats. That sounds pretty good. I want this piano to be higher pitched though, to give it a little different character. To easily move your notes up or down an octave, push the control button and then the up arrow on your keyboard. And we automatically shift up an octave. Alright, now that we have our piano part, we're going to add another instrument. This time around, oh wait, let's click save. Alright, this time around, we're going to use a synthesizer to get sort of a pad type of sound, they'll call it. So let's right click on this FL keys and we're going to insert. Let's use I'm going to use a plugin called TAL Noisemaker. It's a free synthesizer you can download from the internet. It has a lot of cool sounds, especially for something that's free. We're going to make a new pattern. Click the plus. We're going to call this Synth Pad. Click enter. And then we're going to open our piano roll and just make one note. Make it a little bit longer. Add our pattern to the playlist. And let's just play our song. And let's find a synthesizer noise that we like. You can click this little down arrow on most plugins, go to presets, and it'll show you everything it has. That's actually kind of cool. Let's make it lower. That's actually a real nice pad in this synth, and I don't even think we need to change it much at all. It helps give a little bit more body to our beat. So now, let's focus on a lead instrument that we're going to use to make a melody. You could go into much more depth as far as adding more sounds and more instruments, but for the sake of making a basic beat, let's just add one more. For this, I'm going to use a synthesizer called Harmless. It's also free with many versions of FL Studio. We're going to make a new pattern, call this lead. And open piano roll. I'm just going to click on two notes. That's a terrible sound, and it's loud. So let's turn down the volume on Harmless. And this synthesizer actually has keys on right built into it. So we can go through the sounds. These arrows up here will often switch through presets without having to map a bunch of notes. Let's see our presets, and they have them split up for us. We're going to find some lead sounds up here. That's kind of a neat sound. We'll start with this one. So let's just play our beat. And to come up with a good melody, we're just going to kind of hum along and see if anything comes to mind at first. Alright, so let's put this pattern into our playlist, and let's see what it sounds like. And while it's playing, I'm going to make some other adjustments until we have a nice little lead part. Alright, well, now we have all of the instrument parts that we need for our beat. Like I said before, you can go more complex with your writing and composition, but if you think about it, when you go see a band, there's really just drums, bass, guitar, and a singer, so it just goes to show you don't need a whole lot of sounds and instruments to make a good song. Thank you all for tuning in. The third and final part for this video series will be out in just a few days. We're going to be covering the arrangement of our beat and some basic mixing tips that you can do to give it a bit more of a professional sound. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Check out attollostudios.com for more videos to download beats and instrumentals. And if there's anything you'd like me to do another video about in the future, please let me know.